Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fort Lee and the Allen W. Sugarman Athletic Complex for tonight's game between the Kearny Cardinals and your Fort Lee Bridgemen. Before tonight's game, the Fort Lee Athletics Department would like to congratulate all of our seniors for the fall of 2024. But we begin our ceremony to congratulate the seniors from Kearny High School. Big round of applause for those senior cheerleaders and football players from Kearny. And now, the Fort Lee Athletics Department congratulates the following cheerleaders with their families. And we'll start with the Fort Lee Bridgemen 11 senior football players. A senior, number 32, Sanabi Yu. Yu is joined by assistant coach Gabriel Garidi. Now senior, number 62, Jonathan Granados, escorted by assistant coach Chuck Wingate. Senior, number 75, Ari Anconetani and family. Gabrielle, Daniel, and Isabel. Senior, number 72, Fareed Peregrino Brima. Joined by his family and Fort Lee Bridgeman assistant coaches. Senior number 74, Jason Lee, joined by his father. Senior number 3, Amadou Traore, joined by his father and 2 brothers. Senior number 6, Donovan Doss Young, escorted by his father. Father Evan Young. Senior number 8, Guy Vickers, joined by his father, Guy Vickers Sr., mom, Shawanda Vickers, sisters, Indy Jones, Hannah Jones, brother-in-law, Andrew Christie, and cousin, Amid Lovejoy. Next senior, number 1, Ron Leposki. Joined by dad, Ron Leposki Sr., mom, Sonia Rosano, and sister, Sonia Leposki. Senior number 78, Dimitri van der Linden. Escorted by brother Frankie van der Linden, sister Paris, Father Frank, Mother Magda, and Grandma Eleni Poulos. And senior, number 4, Jalen Balbuena. Escorted by mom Kendra, 2 brothers, Justin and Michael, and the rest of the Balbuena family.
Good right there. Thanks. Let's show Blundo. I'm John Hughes. We're going to be your officials tonight. Congratulations on being named captains. That means you're part of our crew. You take care of your guys so we don't take care of them. Good sportsmanship tonight, correct? Shake hands, please. So we got Friday Night Light coin, okay? It's green. And the opposite is the orange, okay? No, you don't get anything. Friday Night Lights, coin, green, and the army on the other side. This is going to be heads. What would you like? Heads the call. Stay. Tails, you won the toss. You want the ball. What do you see? Which goal you want? Which side you want to defend? Stay right here. You guys stay right there.
And with that, we are just about ready for game time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special senior night edition of a Friday Night Lights high school football game. The Fort Lee Bridgemen are about to get ready hosting the Kearny Cardinals. These two teams, formerly Ivy White divisional opponents. Things a little bit different now. Fort Lee, a member of the Ivy Red in the Super Football Conference. But we are underway nevertheless. Jalen Balbuena there to gather the dropped kickoff by Amadou Traore. Balbuena with a decent return, and the Fort Lee Bridgemen offense will start this game off. Thank you so much for tuning in to the senior night pregame festivities. My name is Tommy Aquilina, and I'll take you through this Super Football Conference matchup. Fort Lee wearing their black home uniforms, Kearny their road whites. And quarterback Luke Senator leading the offense out onto the field. Not a senior. We'll highlight the seniors later. We're starting this one off with a deep pass to the senior Balbuena. He tried to one-hand it and was unable to. Kearny number 32, David Parker, playing good defense on that one.
Quarterback Luke Senator's pass incomplete. Intended for 4, Jalen Balbuena.
Senator, a junior. Balbuena, one of the 11 seniors honored before the game. And as I said, we will highlight those seniors in a little bit. For now, it is 2nd down and 10 for the Bridgemen at their own 25-yard line. Fort Lee entering this one 4-1 on the season, and I mentioned they're now a member of the Ivy Red division, 3-1 in division. High snap, Senator handles it. Senator going to take it himself, and he will get tackled by multiple Cardinals, including one of the Kearny captains. Senator dragging that pile a lot further than I initially thought he would. One of the captains I mentioned, number 23, Chase Negron. Senator has been one of the Fort Lee captains, and he runs for a first down there. Impressive play by the junior quarterback. The captains for Kearny, number 23, Chase Negron, number 13, Luis Rodriguez. Get to the other two in a minute. For now, Senator going deep, looking for Balbuena. He beat his men, but that pass a little too far out in front of the senior receiver. The Kearny captains, number 71, Ethan Sanchez, number 54, Eli Ardolino, and then the aforementioned Negron and Luis Rodriguez. Luis Rodriguez, the Kearny quarterback. Fort Lee quarterback Luke Senator airing it out a couple times so far tonight. He has been unable to hook up with Jalen Balbuena. They have connected on several long touchdown passes this year. Man in motion, another snap, almost fumble. Now Senator's going to take it himself, running up the middle. He is untouched. Luke Senator finally dragged down inside the Kearny 30-yard line. A couple broken plays that Luke Senator has turned into long first down runs. The Bridgemen now in Kearny territory. Kearny winless so far on the season. They have played 4 divisional matchups. They are 0-4. These two teams were both Ivy White teams last year. This year, Fort Lee in the Ivy Red division, but they are matching up again. Fort Lee 3-1 in division, 1-0 out of division, trying to improve to 2-0 against non-Ivy Red opponents. Senator and the Bridgemen going to take a timeout. Mike Gerst, Fort Lee head coach in his first year at the helm, takes the timeout. Kearny, meanwhile, coached by John Policano, it is his first full season at the helm for the Cardinals. This timeout gives us our first opportunity to thank our proud sponsors, the William T. Birch Children's Fund, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Soccer Club, It's Greek to Me of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Connect One Bank of Fort Lee, the Bergen Black Sox, Fort Lee Pizza, and the Collective Hair Salon in Fort Lee. This is a run play by the Bridgemen, as we once again thank our proud sponsors. On that carry for the Bridgemen, number 21, Luke's younger brother, CJ Senator. It's an 8-yard run for CJ Senator, so it will be 2nd and short for the Bridgemen. CJ Senator again. He has the first down, trying to get to the outside. He does, looking for the pylon. He's not quite going to make it, but it will be 1st and goal for the Bridgemen. Several long run plays by both Senator brothers here on this drive. The elder Senator not out there for this play either. CJ Senator is out there, so is number 6, Donovan Doss Young. Direct snap to CJ Senator. He's unable to handle it, and he just takes a knee. We also have a flag on the play. It's going to be a false start called against Donovan Doss Young, one of the seniors for the Bridgemen. And now a couple players will come onto the field. Number 9, Josh DeHoyas. Also number 11, Azel Orta. Still no sign of Luke Senator, who has been out for several plays now after a couple long runs here on this opening drive. Not quite 2 minutes gone by here in this opening quarter. Another direct snap to CJ Senator, looking for the end zone. CJ Senator. Not quite. Taking the direct snap. Number 13. Stop made by Kearny. Tackle made by Luis Rodriguez. Mentioned he is the starting quarterback for Kearny. Making the tackle there as CJ Senator got to the 4-yard line.
Second and goal at the 4-yard.
It's now CJ Senator and De Hoyos in the backfield for the Bridgman. The snap will go to Senator. He hands it off to De Hoyos, who is tackled short of the goal line. The Kearny defense making a little bit of a goal line stand here.
No gain on the play.
No gain. We also have a penalty. And this also is an offensive call going against Fort Lee. So a couple penalties going against the Bridgman. Let's see what they decide to do here early in the first quarter. They've accepted the penalty, so they will be pushed back to the 9-yard line. Second and goal from the 9 for the Bridgman. Still no Luke Senator. Snap goes to CJ Senator. He is back to pass. His pass is hauled in for the touchdown. Jalen Balbuena on senior night, making the touchdown grab to get the Bridgman on the board.
To number 4, Jalen Balbuena for the Fort Lee touchdown. 9 yard, was it 9? How many yards out? 9-yard touchdown grab for Balbuena.
9-yard touchdown hookup, CJ Senator to Jalen Balbuena. Extra point attempt is good. That was number 80, Alteo Tabaku, making it 7-0 Fort Lee. 8:57 to go in the first quarter. Very successful opening drive for the Bridgman.
Back deep to receive.
7-0 Fort Lee. 3 minutes and 3 seconds gone by in the opening quarter. Luke Senator, a couple long runs, and then he came out of the game, and his younger brother CJ Senator hit Jalen Balbuena on the 9-yard touchdown pass. Alteo Tabaku made it 7-0 with the extra point. He kicks off here, and Kearny will start things off not quite at their own 30-yard line.
17-yard run back for 21 Miguel Betancourt.
It was a 17-yard kickoff return by number 21, Miguel Betancourt. And now we will see Luis Rodriguez and the Kearny offense go to work. Kearny 0-4 on the season, but their last 2 games saw them put up 30-plus points and only lose by 1 possession. So they got off to a rough start, but they've been competitive recently and looking for their first win of the season against a former divisional foe. Luis Rodriguez with a handoff, and it's going to be a short run by number 23, that is Chase Negron.
Chase Negron on the carry. 72 picking up 2 on the play.
Tackle made by Fort Lee number 72, Fareed Peregrino Brima, another one of the Fort Lee seniors. It's a 1-yard run for Negron, so 2nd and 9 here for the Kearny Cardinals. Man in motion, they pitch it back, and catching it, but then falling down for Kearny was number 1, Mason Viana Negron.
Also 4 on the play.
Loss of yardage on that play.
Third down and 14.
3rd and long coming up for the Cardinals. Doss Young will head off for first-year head coach Mike Gerst. It's 3rd and 14. This drive only about a minute and a half old. Luis Rodriguez back to pass. Man in his face. His pass is almost intercepted.
Pass by 13, Luis Rodriguez incomplete.
That was CJ Senator, and what a start that would have been for him.
Jonah Menendez. 4th down.
4th and long coming up for Kearny. You figure they're going to have to punt here. Back to receive for the Bridgemen is the touchdown receiver, Jalen Balbuena.
Acting for Fort Lee, number 4, Jalen Balbuena.
Doing the punting for Kearny will be number 2, Jonah Menendez. High snap, gets the punt off. It's high, but very short. Very short. Lands in Kearny territory, takes a semi-favorable bounce for the Cardinals, and eventually downing it is Diego Villatoro, number 11 for the Cardinals. Fort Lee will start off in Kearny territory, specifically at the Kearny 48. And let's see which Senator brother does the quarterbacking here for the Bridgemen. It's going to be the younger brother, number 21, CJ Senator. Already a touchdown pass tonight. And he and the Bridgemen take over with 7:16 to go in the opening quarter. Senator pitches it back to Amadou Traore. Traore has the first down. Traore is tackled by number 4 on Kearny.
Number 4, Chris Ruiz. Pick up the 14.
Chris Ruiz making the tackle for Kearny. It's another first down for the Bridgemen. And they're looking to move quickly here. Traore in the backfield with Senator again. This time, Senator back to pass. Very back. He has 2 men in his face. Pass, little too high for his receiver, and it's intercepted. Pass was a little too high for the Fort Lee receiver. It is Viana Negron making the interception, and just like that, momentum shifts to the Cardinals.
Kearny takes over at their own 38.
So CJ Senator with a touchdown pass, now with an interception. The Cardinals will take over in their own territory. They're going to take over, it looks like, at their own 38, still not halfway through this opening quarter. Very, very much an encroachment penalty there by Donovan Doss-Young. The 11 seniors for Fort Lee, Amadou Traore, number 3. Number 4, Jalen Balbuena, one of the team captains. Number 6, Donovan Doss-Young. Number 8, Guy Vickers. Number 1, Ron Leposki, as Rodriguez's pass is incomplete. Number 72, Farid Peregrino Brima. Number 32, Sanabi Yu. Number 62, Jonathan Granados. Number 74, Jason Lee. Number 75, Ari Ankanatani. And number 78, Dimitri von der Linden. Along with Balbuena, Leposki, and von der Linden are team captains for the Bridgemen. Second down and 5 after the penalty, and we might have another one going against the Bridgemen. Team might be a little too amped up to play here on senior night. So a couple offside penalties by Fort Lee basically gifts Kearny a first down. They've advanced to their own 48-yard line without getting any actual offensive yardage. 4 penalties here, not quite halfway through the first quarter, by Fort Lee. This time we get a playoff. It's a quarterback keeper, and Luis Rodriguez has gotten his team into Fort Lee territory. It'll be second down and 5 for the Cardinals. They lost last week in their last September game of the year, 34-32 against Ferris. That was a season-high number of points for the Cardinals. They're looking to tie the game up here. Rodriguez back to pass, man in his face. His pass cannot be caught. that has to be hauled in. That was a pretty perfect pass to number 15, Izel Moya. 3rd and 5 coming up after the drop by Moya. Rodriguez had a Bridgman in his face, made a pretty good pass to a pretty wide open Moya, and number 15 was unable to haul it in. So again, it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Cardinals. Might have been a false start, and it looks like it was a false start there by number 4, Chris Ruiz of Kearny. So the officials getting involved early. Not a negative, they've had to, a lot of penalties, and now one committed by Kearny. So it'll be 3rd and long for the Cardinals as they are backed up into their own territory. They have to get to the Fort Lee 42 for a first down. Kearny receiver lined up way too far forward, still lined up too far forward, and so this penalty will go against Kearny. Back-to-back dead ball fouls going against the Cardinals. So a sloppy start to play here under the Friday night lights. Fort Lee leading Kearny 7-0, and 3rd and very long coming up for the Cardinals on their second possession of the game. They got this possession because of the interception thrown by C.J. Senator. Interception hauled in by Mason Viana Negron, but now his team is facing a 3rd and 15. That was Jonah Menendez, who checked with the line judge, said he was too far forward. He backed up, but was still too far forward, so it was a false start against Kearny. Now everyone is lined up properly. Rodriguez back to pass. Pocket collapses. Vickers chasing Rodriguez. Rodriguez taking it himself, and he is eventually pushed out of bounds by Ron Leposki. So Kearny will have to punt.
And picks up 6 on the play. Pushed out of bounds by He's run out of bounds by number 1, senior Ron Leposki. 4th and 8 in midfield.
Leposki making the tackle. It is 4th and 8 for the Cardinals at midfield. And it will be Menendez, who that second penalty was called against, doing the punting here. A couple Bridgman back to receive. No, now Azel Orta steps up. Ball is punted way over the head of Balbuena. He's going to let it roll to the end zone, but it will not roll that far. Ball kind of dies, and so Fort Lee will start things off deep in their own territory with 5:25 to go in the opening quarter. C.J. Senator and company will take over at their own 9-yard line. 3rd possession of the game already for the Bridgmen, who lead this one 7-0. Their offense has moved the ball a lot better than the Kearny offense has, but Senator's interception gave Kearny a possession and ruined great field possession by Fort Lee. Now they're going to have to travel 91 yards to score another touchdown here. Senator trying to bait Kearny into a penalty unsuccessfully. Now takes the snap, immediately hits Guy Vickers, who makes the catch, breaks a tackle, and is dragged down by a couple Cardinals after gaining a first down.
Picks up the first down, a gain of 16.
That's a gain of 16 on first down, so Fort Lee now at their own 25-yard line.
Stop made by number 1, Mason Viana Negron, and 57, Ryan Rodriguez of Kearny.
Primary tight ends for the Bridgmen, Vickers and Jacob Greenberg. Vickers making the reception and getting the first down there. Another bad snap. It is picked up by a member of the Bridgmen, and now free reign Another broken play that leads to a long run by a member of Fort Lee. That time it was number 24, Ide Ahmedi.
He was able to run and pick up a first down.
First and 10 for Fort Lee at their own 44-yard line. A couple long plays, and all of a sudden, Fort Lee has that great field position back. Senator back very deep to pass. Over the middle, pass is caught by Leposki. Room to run, inside the 30. Leposki inside the 20. Leposki dragged down at about the 10-yard line by Chris Ruiz. Fort Lee basically imposing their will on the Kearny offense here in the first quarter, on the Kearny defense, I should say. 44-yard reception for Leposki. And now Fort Lee has first and 10 at the 12, so they can get a first down here without scoring. Senator taking this one himself. CJ Senator does not have a touchdown. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Bridgemen from the 3. Senator on the keeper, and we have another whistle. It's another false start against the Bridgemen, so that will back them up a little bit. Should be 2nd and 6 from the 8. Little more than 8 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. A lot of penalties, but even given that, Fort Lee knocking on the doorstep, already leading 7-0. Senator back to pass, looking left, going for Vickers, and pass is broken up. That was Rodriguez for the Cardinals. The younger Senator going to his sideline to get the play. Several members of the Bridgemen are decked out in pink. It is now October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Fort Lee taking their second time out of the half already, not even 9 minutes into this game. This is the first game of October for both of these teams. Fort Lee 4-1 on the season. They went 3-1 in September, coming off a 47-26 win at Bergen Tech. Fort Lee looking for a 4th consecutive victory and looking to improve to 4-1 in division. Mentioned this is their first year in the Ivy Red out of the 7 teams in the division. Fort Lee currently in 2nd place. 3-1. Behind 2 3-0 teams, Demarest and Fairlawn. Fort Lee lost to Fairlawn 34-13 here at home on September 6th. Since then, the Bridgemen have won 3 in a row, looking to make it 4 in a row here on senior night. And we have another whistle before the ball is snapped. Might have just been a dead ball there. Mike Gerst will make a change on offense. Vickers comes out of the game. It's 3rd and 8 for the Bridgemen. They can pick up a first down here without scoring. Senator has De Hoyos in the backfield with him. Snap is finally off. Senator bobbles but handles, and Senator is tackled by a couple Cardinals. I believe one of them was number 59, Johan Palmino, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Stop in the backfield for Kearny, 58, Jaden Fernandez. 4th down.
It looks like Fort Lee is going to go for it here on 4th down. Aggressive play call by Gerst. Snap is good. Pass to the end zone is incomplete. I believe that was Ruiz who jumped in front of Azel Orta and got in his line of sight. Either way, it's an incomplete pass by CJ Senator, and Kearny will take over after the turnover on downs. So a sloppy start here. We've seen a lot of penalties. Interception by Fort Lee. And also now a turnover on downs, giving Kearny their 3rd offensive possession of the game here with 2:55 to go in the first quarter. Like Fort Lee on their last possession, Kearny starting at their own 9, and they might have gotten some yardage there. I think that's another offsides call that's going to go against Donovan Doss-Young. So Kearny will have 1st and 5 at their own 14. The Cardinals have been gifted a good amount of yardage by the Bridgemen on penalties, but they haven't really been able to do anything with it. This is Rodriguez rolling to his right, breaking a couple tackles and eventually getting tripped up by number 0. That is Jaden Kearny. So a good tackle there by Kearny, but Rodriguez did pick up a 1st down. And Kearny will have a 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line here, it looks like. Handoff here by the Cardinals. It is Negron breaking tackles. Now running down the sideline and eventually getting knocked out of bounds by Orta. 24-yard run for Kearny, number 23, Chase Negron. We've hit the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. Kearny has a 1st and 10 at their own 40. Rodriguez and Ruiz jogging to the huddle after meeting with their coach at the sideline. John Policano in his first full year as the Kearny head football coach. The Cardinals went 1-8 last year. This year they've played some competitive games, but they are winless here in the 2024-25 season. Rodriguez back to pass. His pass is nearly intercepted by Traore. Rodriguez was looking for Viana Negron. Pass broken up by the senior Traore. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Clock has stopped with 1:54 to go in the opening quarter. A lengthy first quarter here at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. Taken us nearly a half hour to get through just over 10 minutes of game time. Fort Lee leading Kearny 7-0 on senior night. Rodriguez back to pass. Couple players in his face, going deep. Passes almost intercepted. Two Bridgemen, Orta and Kearny, had a better chance at catching that ball than anybody on Kearny did. 3rd and 10 coming up. Actually, scratch that. We have a penalty that will go against Fort Lee. I think there might have been contact made to the head of a member of the Cardinals. So once again, Kearny gifted yardage by the Bridgemen. This time it's a 15-yard penalty. And instead of 3rd and 10, we're going to have 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Fort Lee 45. Rodriguez hands it off to Negron. He is hit in the backfield, and it looks like he's just barely going to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. Cyrus Wilkins, number 55, in on the tackle of Negron. 2nd and 10 coming up. Still more than a minute to go here in the first quarter. Kearny continuing to be methodical here offensively. Rodriguez goes to the sideline, gets the call, now ready to go. Back to pass. Pocket collapses. His pass is not caught. They're going to rule that incomplete. Fort Lee wants it to be a fumble that they've run back for a touchdown. I'm not seeing a signal from the officials.
Returns after a fumble by number 3, Amadou Traore, for a touchdown.
I think they're going to rule that a Fort Lee touchdown. Well, would you look at that? Multiple Kearny players talking to the officials. There was a pass made, and then Frank Vizerdo of Fort Lee made either a pass breakup or a tackle. Traore picked the ball up and ran it back. And I think, let's see what the officials rule. Well, would you look at that? It is a touchdown for the Bridgemen. They're ruling it a completed pass and then a fumble after Vizerdo made the tackle. Give Traore a fumble recovery and a touchdown. Now Alteo Tabaku for the extra point. (14-0) Fort Lee. 46.9 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. So again, give Vizerdo the fumble caused, give Traore the fumble recovery and the defensive touchdown. 2 Fort Lee seniors with touchdowns here on senior night. Jalen Balbuena, a touchdown reception. Amadou Traore with a fumble recovery, a scoop and score, and it is 14-0 Fort Lee. Tabaku's kickoff will bounce into the end zone, and Kearny will get a touchback here. So Kearny getting a 4th offensive possession here in the first quarter. That could mean a good thing. In this case, it does not. Still looking to score. 46.9 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. 14-0 Bridgemen. A very good start to senior night for Mike Gerst's squad. An offensive touchdown and a defensive touchdown. Now Luis Rodriguez takes the snap. Play is blown up, and Rodriguez is sacked. And we have another flag on the play. The penalty might have been away from the ball. Initially, we have Christian Bruton blowing that play up, but I think we're going to have a penalty away from the ball. It's going to be a face mask penalty called against Guy Vickers. He was nowhere near the ball. But regardless, it is a penalty against Vickers of Fort Lee, and so more yardage given to the Cardinals. So far, they have yet to do anything with it. Clock is ticking, but it looks like we're going to get another playoff here in the first quarter. 2nd and 5 for Kearny after the defensive penalty by Fort Lee. They pitch it back to Negron. Negron is knocked out of bounds by Leposki, and so that'll stop the clock with 5.4 seconds remaining in the opening quarter.
Pickup of 8. Pickup of 1 on the play. 3rd and 1 at the Kearny 29.
They're calling it 3rd and 1 for Kearny at their own 29-yard line. So a big final play here, what should be the final play of the first quarter. Fort Lee looks poised to bring the house. They do. Rodriguez trying to take it himself. He's short. And we have a fumble. No whistle. Picked up by Vizerdo. And it's going to be a Fort Lee ball.
A fumble is forced and returned by number 7.
2 fumbles forced by the Bridgman defense in the final minute of play here in the first quarter. And when the second quarter begins, it should be 1st and goal, Fort Lee.
And Vizerdo down at the 3-yard line. At the end of the first quarter of play.
So what a start to the night for Frank Vizerdo. A fumble caused, and on the very next possession, a fumble recovery. Vizerdo tackled at the 3. 1st and goal coming up for the Bridgmen. They already lead 14-0 after 12 minutes of play. Kearny coming a little unglued here as we start the second quarter. They might have had a call go against them, but on that last play, Rodriguez on the quarterback keeper on 3rd and 1 pushed backwards and eventually stripped by a member of Fort Lee. Frank Vizerdo picked it up and ran the other way, and Fort Lee is in business. The Bridgmen have won 3 in a row, but they actually have only scored 20 or more points in 3 of their 5 games so far this year. Now they're looking to score their 3rd touchdown of the game here on the first play of the second quarter. Luke Senator came out early in the first, but his brother CJ Senator has filled in admirably. A touchdown pass, also an interception. But Fort Lee with fumbles caused on back-to-back defensive possessions. And now they have it at the 3. Field has flipped. It is Balbuena getting the direct snap and running it in for the touchdown. Jalen Balbuena, a touchdown reception, now a touchdown run. And 7 seconds into the second quarter, it is indeed 20-0 Fort Lee.
Fort Lee leads 20-0.
Tabaku, 2 for 2 on extra points so far. And he missed that one wide left.
Tabaku's point after
So Tabaku 2 of 3 on extra points, but it remains 20-0 Bridgman early in the second quarter. These two teams did meet last year when they were division rivals. Kearny went 1-8 and 1-5 specifically in the Ivy White division. Fort Lee was 3 games ahead of Kearny, 4-2 in division, 7-2 overall. And when these teams played on October 20th, it was a quite lopsided affair, with the Bridgmen coming away victorious by a score of 56-7. 7 seconds into the second quarter, it's 20-0 Bridgman. As Tabaku kicks things off, it is Rodriguez on the return. And he is tackled by a couple Bridgmen, short of his own 30-yard line. So Kearny has had some nice plays. They've been gifted a ton of yardage on Fort Lee penalties, but they've really got to make something happen here if they want to get back in this one. Down 20-0 early in the second quarter, as they will start this offensive possession at their own 28. And we have another penalty going against the Bridgmen. It's an offsides penalty this time. So just like that, it'll be 1st and 5 from the Kearny 33. Timeout taken by Kearny. That is their first of the half, so they're down to 2. Fort Lee is already down to 1. But there's not really a ton to discuss for the Bridgmen besides all of the penalties. A 20-0 advantage for Fort Lee. CJ Senator, a 9-yard touchdown pass to the senior Jalen Balbuena. Amadou Traore, a scoop and score late in the first quarter to make it 14-0. And then Balbuena with a 3-yard touchdown run. Extra point was missed, but still a 20-point advantage for the Bridgmen as they look to improve to 5-1 on the season. This is a non-divisional game for the Bridgmen. They are 1-0 out of division as they opened the season with a 42-0 trouncing of Memorial back on August 29th. On 1st and 5, Rodriguez pump fakes. Pocket collapses. His pass is incomplete. There is once again a flag on the play. My eyes may have deceived me. No flag on that play. There have been a lot of flags tonight, but not on that play. So it's now 2nd and 5 for Kearny from their own 33. Rodriguez following the incomplete pass. He rifles one, which is caught. First down, Kearny. Into Fort Lee territory after the catch is made by Jonah Menendez. It takes multiple Bridgmen to drag him down. Like I said, Kearny has had some big plays, and now they are at the Fort Lee 43.
Stop made for 11, Azel Orta, and 20, Christian Bruton.
Orta and Bruton on the tackle on that last play for the Bridgmen. Kearny in desperate need of some points. 1st and 10 here. Rodriguez as the pocket collapses, and he just kind of throws that one out of bounds. Menendez was in the area, covered by Traore. Still not quite a minute off the clock here in the second quarter as the Bridgemen lead the Kearny Cardinals 20-0. Kearny looking to get back in this one. Rodriguez back to pass, and his pass is incomplete. He was looking for one of his favorite targets, Negron. Didn't hook up with him that time. So it'll be 3rd and 10. You have to wonder if it's 4-down territory here for the Cardinals. Let's see. Fort Lee takes a timeout. So 10 minutes and 56 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, and Mike Gerst is already out of timeouts for this half. Fort Lee up 20-0. 3rd and 10 coming up for Kearny. No more timeouts for Fort Lee here in the first half, but no points on the board for Kearny. They desperately need a score to get back in this one. Tommy Aquilina here with you at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Fort Lee leading this one 20-0 on senior night. 3rd and 10 for Kearny at the Fort Lee 43. Rodriguez back to pass, going deep. Too far out in front of Rodriguez. Number 4, Balbuena, covering number 4, not Rodriguez, but Ruiz, excuse me. Ruiz had a step on Balbuena. Rodriguez's pass was too far out in front of him. And it looks like Coach Policano will have his team punt here on 4th and 10. And it'll be Menendez doing the punting for the Cardinals. Orta back to receive. That kick was almost blocked. I don't think it was tipped. But nevertheless, it will take a not very friendly bounce for Kearny. Downed by Villatoro. Almost getting a fingertip on it, if he didn't, was number 58 for Fort Lee, Aiden Suh. Either way, a pretty short punt for Menendez. It's going to go from the Fort Lee 43 to the Fort Lee 21. So a 22-yard punt, and Fort Lee will start things off with decent field position here, already up by 3 scores. Still no Luke Senator, but his younger brother CJ has filled in admirably here. 1 touchdown pass, and here a flip to Josh DeHoyos, who holds on even as he is spun around and tackled. Tackle made by Viana Negron. He has had one of the better nights so far tonight for Kearny defenders. 3 scores allowed by Kearny, but on one play, Fort Lee literally started the possession at the Kearny 3. The 2 fumbles have really killed the Cardinals. Senator going deep. Orta had 2 hands on it, but was unable to bring it in. He was covered by Viana Negron. He had half a step on him. Really not a bad pass by Senator. Orta definitely wants that one back. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 with a little more than 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. They're going to run it here on 3rd down. And I think they're going to be short of the first down. It looks like they will be. That was De Hoyos on the carry, and Eli Ardolino making the tackle for Kearny. So they're going to get the ball back here, still down 3 scores, not even 3 full scores. Doss Young helped off the field with the assistance of a Fort Lee coach. That'll be something to keep an eye on. In the meantime, Tabaku to punt. Punt is almost blocked, but it's not. Rodriguez back to receive, and he will let the ball go by him. Downed by Fort Lee at the Kearny 31-yard line. So the Cardinals will have decent enough field position here as they look to get back in this one. A commanding lead for Fort Lee, but they have certainly not dominated here in the first half on senior night. And if Luke Senator and Doss Young are out for an extended period of time, there could be an opening here for the Cardinals. They haven't really been able to get untracked offensively. They are 0-4 on the season, but they've averaged 31 points per game over their last 2. A couple one-score losses. Looking to get on the board here in the second quarter in Fort Lee. Rodriguez. Pass is caught. First down into Fort Lee territory is Menendez. Orta on the tackle. There was a flag on the play, and I think that one is going to come back. No catch for Menendez. There was an ineligible receiver downfield. So one of the more positive offensive plays for the Cardinals is erased, and they will be backed up inside their own 30 here. 8:44 remaining in the second quarter. First and 15 for Kearny, with a couple timeouts remaining at their own 26. Fort Lee players scrambling to get in position. They do get set. Rodriguez, pocket collapses, running from Peregrino Brima. He launches it, and it is caught. Really impressive catch there with good coverage. A 23-yard first down reception. Fort Lee really wasn't set up on that play, but that pass is, in fact, incomplete. A couple bridgemen there to break it up, including Balbuena. $8:21 to go in the second quarter. First and 10 for Kearny at their own 49. Looking to get on the board here. Handoff to Negron. He is in Fort Lee territory. Doesn't get much further than that. And third and long will be coming up.
Pickup of 4 on the play. Stop made by Fareed Peregrino Brima.
Injury timeout here with 8 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the second quarter, and Fort Lee leading this one 20-0. There is a Cardinal who is down. This will give us another opportunity to thank our proud sponsors. The 24-25 Fort Lee Bridgman Athletic sponsors, the William T. Birch Children's Fund, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Soccer Club, It's Greek to Me of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Connect One Bank of Fort Lee, the Bergen Black Sox, Fort Lee Pizza, and the Collective Hair Salon of Fort Lee. Thank you so much to our proud sponsors. Thank you for tuning in on a Friday night. Tommy Aquilina here with you at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Big third down play coming up. Pass is incomplete. Number 32, David Parker, was the intended target of Rodriguez. They could not connect, and so fourth down coming up. 4th and 7, just barely in Fort Lee territory, and Coach Policano will send out Menendez and the rest of the punting unit.
Kearny in punt formation, number 2, Jonah Menendez.
Timeout on the field.
Policano will also take a timeout here. Second timeout of the first half taken by the Cardinals. Cardinals playing their first non-divisional game of the year. They are in last place among the 7 teams in the Super Football Conference Ivy White Division at 0-4. 1 game behind Dickinson, who beat them 36-30 on September 19th. These 2 teams were both in the Ivy White Division last year. They met up on October 20th. Fort Lee came away with a 56-7 win. This year, Fort Lee, a member of the Ivy Red Division, 3-1 in division, 4-1 overall, looking to improve to 5-1 here on senior night. 11 seniors honored before the game, and Fort Lee not playing the most crisp game ever, but they do have a 20-point advantage. Menendez to punt here for the Cardinals. Balbuena back to receive, and he will handle it on a hop. And he's going to get tripped up, not quite at his own 20. Nice play made there by Kearny number 58, Jaden Fernandez. So the Bridgemen will take over deep in their own territory with 7 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the second half. The second quarter, I should say. The first half, Fort Lee scored within the opening minute of this quarter. Since then, the 2 teams have kind of just gone back and forth, trading sloppy offensive possessions. A good sign for the Bridgemen as Donovan Doss Young has come back on the field. Direct snap to Balbuena. He has a rushing touchdown tonight. And he gets stood up and backed up here by a member of the Cardinals. Nice tackle. I believe that was Rodriguez. 1 yard gain for Balbuena. CJ Senator back onto the field. New play call for Fort Lee. Senator back to pass on 2nd and 9, going deep, and that pass was broken up by Balbuena. Rodriguez had a better chance at that one than the Fort Lee wide receiver did, so Balbuena played some defense there and broke it up. 3rd and 9 coming up. CJ Senator did not start tonight. He has a touchdown pass. He also has an interception. Incomplete pass intended for Balbuena there. Now it'll be 3rd and 9 for Fort Lee at their own 19. Senator, a much shorter pass to Balbuena, who is tackled immediately. And now the Bridgemen will once again be forced to punt. Tabaku comes back onto the field. So a 3-and-out caused by Kearny, but they still have yet to really even threaten offensively. Their quarterback, Luis Rodriguez, back to receive Tabaku's punt. That's a pretty good punt. Rodriguez fields it on a hop, and I don't think he meant to go down there. There were a couple Bridgemen, including Bruton, in front of him, but I think Rodriguez really slipped there. So a short gain for Rodriguez after he lost his edge, but the Cardinals will start this possession in Fort Lee territory at the 45 specifically. Plenty of time for the Cardinals to work with here. More than 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. They have one timeout. They'll also receive the second half kickoff, so they can get back in this one. The question is, will they? Maybe not. Oh, very dangerous play there. And Dimitri van der Linden celebrates. He absolutely blew that play up. Rodriguez had the handoff basically knocked away by van der Linden, and then a Cardinal had to fall on it. Nearly a third fumble caused tonight by a member of Fort Lee. Van der Linden has been one of the better players on both sides of the ball for Fort Lee for years. The senior honored before the game. And after a really nice play by Van der Linden, it's 2nd and 10. Rodriguez back to pass this time. Gets away from Wilkins. Throws it, and it's caught inbounds. Nice pass, nice catch by Villatoro, and that is going to be a Kearny first down.
First down, Kearny. Completion to number 11, Diego Villatoro.
Villatoro does eventually go out of bounds. Still more than 5 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Stop made by 20, Christian Bruton, and 11, Azel Orta.
Rodriguez back to pass again. Short pass this time completed to Negron. Negron breaks a tackle and is close to a first down. He has a first down. So Villatoro with a first down grab. Negron with a first down grab. And now the Cardinals are moving, but we do have a whistle here. A flag has been thrown by an official. It's a delay of game penalty that'll go against Fort Lee. They tried to call a timeout there, but they had already used all three. So a mental lapse by Fort Lee. Some more yardage gifted to the Cardinals. Now Rodriguez rolling to his right. Stops on a dime. His pass is caught for the touchdown. Jonah Menendez with the touchdown grab. And the Cardinals are on the board.
9-yard touchdown grab by Menendez. Score is 20-6, Fort Lee.
Kearny for the extra point. And it is good. Number 12, Marcelo Lima, now 1 for 1 on the night on his lone extra point attempt. Tabaku is 2 out of 3, and just like that, Kearny is back in the game. It's 20-7. 4:41 to go in the first half. Lima will now do the kickoff duties. Traore and Balbuena back to receive for Fort Lee. A little bit of a gut check here for the Bridgemen. They were up by 3 scores. They've played some sloppy offense. They've committed too many penalties. Now it's just a 2-score game. They have plenty of time here, though, in the first half. Balbuena on a couple bounces, gets past the 40, gets past a couple Cardinals, one man to beat. It's Lima. He's past Lima. Jalen Balbuena on senior night has his 3rd touchdown of the game. There is a flag that has been thrown, so not so fast. Let's see what the call is. If that's not against Fort Lee, Jalen Balbuena has his 3rd score of the night. Still waiting for the call here. And that one will come back. An unnecessary roughness call goes against Fort Lee. That will nullify what would have been a kickoff return touchdown for Balbuena. He already has a touchdown reception and a touchdown run tonight. So, instead of it being a touchdown return, Fort Lee will have a first down at the Kearny 28. They're still set up nicely here with 4:26 to go in the second quarter. Senator taking it himself, running up the gut. CJ Senator has a first down. 14-yard run gets Fort Lee halfway to the goal line. 1st and 10 at the 14. Senator now with Doss Young and Traore in the backfield with him. Barks out a play to his team. Doss Young in motion. Senator hands it off to Traore. Rolling left with flags flying on the field. Traore has reached the end zone. Let's see what these flags are about. I think it's going to go against Fort Lee again. And it will. They're going to call a holding penalty against Fort Lee offensive lineman Ari and Kanatani, number 75. So that's going to back Fort Lee way up. And it looks like they're now going to be outside of the red zone here. Still first down, just first down and long. Fort Lee can get a first down without scoring. Now Senator back to pass. Man in his face, completes his pass to Traore. Traore says, whoop, and is into the end zone for the touchdown. There was a defender there. Traore stopped, went to his left, and has the touchdown on senior night. Amadou Traore, like Jalen Balbuena, honored before the game, and the Fort Lee senior has his 2nd score of the game. A scoop and score on defense, and now a 24-yard touchdown reception. And the Bridgemen are going for 2. Direct snap to Balbuena. Running to his right, Jalen Balbuena has it for 2. So Jalen Balbuena, a touchdown reception, a touchdown run, and a 2-point conversion. Amadou Traore, a fumble recovery and touchdown, and a touchdown reception. And with exactly 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, the Bridgemen lead this one 28-7. So Kearny gets on the board, but the Bridgemen respond immediately. C.J. Senator with his second touchdown pass of the night to Amadou Traore. Tabaku to kick off, with Fort Lee leading by 3 full scores. Christian Bruton makes the tackle for the Bridgemen. That was Negron on the return for Kearny. And they will take over, now down by 3 full scores. They got it to 20-7, but then a 24-yard touchdown reception by Traore, 2-point conversion successful by the Bridgemen, and they now lead this one 28-7. 2:53 to go, and 1 timeout remaining for Kearny. They start this possession at their own 25. Rodriguez back to pass. Wilkins chasing. Rodriguez stopping and passing. Broken up. Balbuena got an arm in front of Menendez and broke up that pass. As if Balbuena hasn't had a good enough night, give him a pass breakup there. Rodriguez running away from Vizerdo here, still looking downfield. He had a man open and he missed him. Ruiz had a step on Traore running across the middle of the field, and Rodriguez unable to connect with Ruiz. 3rd and 10 coming up. Traore will now come off for the Bridgemen in favor of Kearny. 3rd and 10 coming up for Kearny. Rodriguez rolling out of the pocket, now going for Ruiz again. Ruiz has it this time. Nice catch by Ruiz. He is tackled by Kearny, but Chris Ruiz has a first down and has Kearny in Fort Lee territory. Still more than 2 minutes to go in this second quarter. Kearny taking over now at the Fort Lee 36. Everybody gets set. Rodriguez hands it off here to Negron, tackled by Leposki and Bruton. Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8. Rodriguez rolling to his right. A flag has been thrown. Rodriguez's pass is caught by Parker. That would be a first down for the Cardinals, but let's see what this flag is about. This one will go against Kearny. Holding penalty against the Cardinals. That negates Parker's first down reception. It's a 10-yard holding penalty, so it'll be 2nd and 18 for Kearny at the Fort Lee 44. Rodriguez under pressure, gets away from Vizerdo, still on the move, lobs it downfield, and it's caught for the touchdown. Menendez with Bruton all over him. has his second touchdown catch of the day.
For Menendez. That makes the score Fort Lee 28, Kearny 13. His arm is good too. He can zip the ball. I like him. I like him. Under duress, he does a good job. If he had better protection and better players around him, he'd really be like he'd be successful in like Texas.
A flag on the snap here on the extra point play. Goes against Fort Lee. Marcelo Lima looking to add on the extra point. Another flag. It's against Fort Lee again. Fort Lee up 28-13. Lima trying to go 2 for 2 on extra point attempts and make it a 2-touchdown game. And we will try the extra point for a third time. We're going to have a timeout first. That is the final timeout taken by the Cardinals. They've used all 3. Fort Lee tried to use a 4th one. They got penalized for it, so no more timeouts here in the final 72 seconds of the first half. The Bridgemen leading the Cardinals 28-13 on senior night. But Kearny does still have an extra point attempt upcoming. Maybe they took a timeout to draw up a 2-point play. Let's see. And they are, in fact, going to go for 2. I think they direct snapped it to... No, not Negron. It was Rodriguez keeping it, and he scores.
Making the score, Fort Lee 28, Kearny 15.
So a solid possession there for Luis Rodriguez. He's aired the ball out all night tonight. A 44-yard touchdown pass to Menendez, then the QB keeper for 2, and just like that, it's actually a 13-point game now. Fort Lee 28, Kearny 15, a minute 12 remaining in the first half.
Marcelo Lima to kick off for Kearny. For Jalen Valbuena and 3 Amadou Traore deep for Fort Lee.
Lima to kick off, Balbuena and Traore back to receive. Sent to Traore. Traore past the 30. Now looking for blockers, and Amadou Traore with a solid return. He'll get to, I think, a little past the 35. They're going to down him at the 35-yard line. Still more than a minute to go for Fort Lee. They have a 13-point advantage, But Kearny, if they're able to hold the Bridgman here, they could really get back in this one. They will receive the second half kickoff. So the Bridgman here going to try to grab the momentum back right before the second half. CJ Senator back to pass. Sends it downfield, looking for Balbuena. Pass is broken up by Rodriguez. Rodriguez and Balbuena have both gotten it done tonight on both sides of the ball for their respective teams. 2nd and 10 now for the Bridgman coming up as we are in the final minute of play here in what has been an elongated first half at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Taken over 80 minutes here to not get through 2 full quarters. Fort Lee leading 28-15. Senator, Vickers. Vickers has a first down. That pass actually might have been intended for Orta, but Vickers was right in Senator's line of sight. Pass was basically right to him, so Vickers with the grab, Vickers with the first down, and now Fort Lee at their own 48. Senator spikes it because the Bridgmen have no more timeouts. That stops the clock. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 48 with 41.8 seconds to go. Vickers now has multiple receptions tonight here on senior night. Senator, the sophomore quarterback. And we have a whistle. It's probably an offensive penalty. No, encroachment. I'm a little surprised they didn't give Fort Lee a free play there. That will get the Bridgmen into Kearny territory. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the Kearny 47. Clock is running. Less than half a minute to play in the first half. Quick pass to Orta. Orta has the first down. Gets tackled. He ran into the middle field. I'm not sure if the Bridgmen are going to have time to run another play. They do get a stoppage for the spotting of the ball. And so that will allow them to run another play. Senator with a man in his face. There should have been a holding penalty called there, and it will, in fact, get called. De Hoyos was holding a defensive lineman of Kearny. Very clearly holding number 73, Giovanni Sile. So that play doesn't matter. Sile already motioning that this play is going to come back. Sile would have had a direct line to Senator if De Hoyos had not held him back. So that penalty will back the Bridgmen up. It wipes away a long pass play to Vickers. And the Bridgmen will be at the Kearny 47 with 4.2 seconds remaining in the first half. They're probably just going to run a Hail Mary play here. But we have another whistle beforehand. Okay, the clock died, so not a penalty, thank goodness. After 24 minutes of action, the Bridgmen lead here on senior night, 28-15. Hopefully we have fewer penalties in the second half, but hopefully we have more exciting plays. Don't go anywhere, folks. The second half is coming up.
Good evening, Fort Lee. I'm Michael Leone, your new Director of Bands at Fort Lee High School. Tonight we will recognize our marching band seniors for their hard work and dedication. this time, we'd like to introduce the senior marching band members with their escorts. Matthew Brodsky, color guard. Matthew is escorted by his mother, Inessa. Nancy Dong, color guard. Nancy is escorted by her friends Grace Hudson, Gianna, and Diane, and color guard instructors Mr. Etra and Mr. Burton. Camilla Fernandez, color guard captain and winter guard captain. Camilla is escorted by her parents, Jose and Fabiana Fernandez, and brother Daniel. Clara Huang, woodwind captain. Clara is escorted by her parents, Annie and Andrew Huang. Hannah Jung, clarinet. Hannah is escorted by her dad, Fred Jung. Matthew Kang, trumpet section leader. Matthew is escorted by his parents, Junku Kwang and Hee-Yoon Park. Perna Kapoor, color guard. Perna is escorted by her parents, Amit and Ritu Kapoor. Joshua Kim, front ensemble. Joshua is escorted by his mother, Sal, Grace, and Grandma Okja. Ryan Levy, percussion captain and drum section leader. Ryan is escorted by his percussion section, drum major and executive officer, Amir Sikal, and alum, Soo-Young Shin. Valentina Mariningo, color guard, dance section leader. Valentina is escorted by her parents, Louis and Nicole. David Park, saxophone section leader. David is escorted by his girlfriend, Ariana. Elijah Park, clarinet and music manager. Elijah is escorted by his parents, David and Katie, and brother Ethan. Nelson Richards, color guard. Nelson is escorted by his parents, Kevin Richards and Nancy Liu. Amir Sikal, drum major and executive officer. Amir is escorted by his mother, Annabella. Ryan Tans, center snare and ranking field officer. Ryan is escorted by his mother, Kathy Ong. Emilio Velasquez, trumpet. Emilio is escorted by his parents, Catherine and Alfredo. Ariel Wen, front ensemble and concert band president. Ariel is escorted by her parents, Faye and Jonathan Wen, and grandmother Wendy. Madison Wu, color guard. Madison is escorted by her parents, Anne and Peter, and Aunt Grace. Ladies and gentlemen, please give our marching band seniors one more round of applause. And now, I am pleased to introduce our 2024 performance of Celestial Journeys, an exciting journey through space and time that explodes into a fierce race through the stars, concluding with a wild ride through outer space. Please sit back and enjoy the show. Drum Major Amir Sakal, is the band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Fort Lee High School Marching Bridgemen.
Tommy Aquilina back here with you at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. I hope you enjoyed halftime after watching Fort Lee take a 28-15 lead into the half here on senior night. Second half underway. Alteo Tabacu with the opening kickoff here in the second half. Luis Rodriguez, who has slung a couple touchdown passes tonight for the Kearny Cardinals. Back to receive, he basically just downs it. And Kearny, if they get on the board here, they can make this a one-possession game. Things have gone a little bit differently than they did last year when these two teams met up. They were both in the Super Football Conference Ivy White division then. Fort Lee won 56-7. Tonight, Fort Lee has led by as many as 20, currently up 28-15. The Cardinals start off the second half with the ball. It's a quarterback keeper here by Rodriguez. Some trickery by Kearny, and Rodriguez is eventually tackled by Donovan Doss Young, one of the 11 Fort Lee seniors honored before tonight's game. After the run by Rodriguez, second and short, he hands it off here, but the play is blown dead. Lot of penalties in the first half. Most of them went against Fort Lee. This one is going to go against Kearny, though. They will back themselves up. That's number 15, Izel Moya, getting called for the false start. So it'll be 2nd and 9 now for Kearny. Not quite a minute gone by here in the second half. Rodriguez with the snap, rolling to his right, trying to get away from a Bridgman. He does, and is eventually knocked out of bounds by Doss Young. Before that, that was Aiden Suh giving chase. It's a first down run for the Kearny quarterback, Rodriguez. 2 touchdown passes in that first half, both of them to Jonah Menendez. And then Rodriguez actually ran in the 2-point conversion after that second touchdown. So instead of being a 14-point game, it's a 13-point game. And Kearny looking to make it a one-possession game with their opening possession here in the second half. Negron in motion. They're going to throw it back to him now, and he's unable to make the catch. Low throw there by Rodriguez, and so it'll be 2nd down and 10. There are 10 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Kearny at their own 25. And another whistle. Another false start against Kearny. It'll be 2nd down and 15 from their own 20. The Cardinals are going the wrong way. Rodriguez back to pass now. He steps up. Being chased, being dragged down by Wilkins, gets the pass off. The pass is caught. There should be a horse collar penalty getting called against Cyrus Wilkins, but that's going to be a completed pass to Menendez, who has the 2 touchdown catches for the Cardinals. So I believe Kearny will decline that penalty, and that should be a first down reception for Menendez. The referees are discussing what the call will be here.
We have multiple fouls. First we got throwing the ball over the line of scrimmage on the offense. On the defense, we have a horse collar. Those 2 will offset. We have a dead ball foul on White. Dead ball foul, and that will be going 15 yards.
So we're going to have offsetting penalties. They did get Wilkins for a horse collar tackle, but there was another penalty called against the Cardinals, and then after the play ended, there was a dead ball foul. I believe after Menendez made the catch, he might have flipped the ball off of a member of Fort Lee, so he gets penalized for that. That's a 15-yard penalty going against the Cardinals. And so after all that, it will be second down, and it'll be second down and 15. Make it second and 10. Kearny's at their own 25. Now Rodriguez is back to pass, looking for Parker. He has Parker. David Parker toe taps, makes the catch, and is knocked out of bounds. He will be downed at the 46-yard line. 21-yard pickup, Rodriguez to Parker. And Kearny is going to try to make something happen here after all of those penalties. Got them off to a slow start here on this drive. Rodriguez certainly not shy to throw the deep ball. Handles a low snap here, rolling to his left. Suh and Wilkins both after him. His pass gets it off. His pass is intercepted. Azel Orta taking it the other way. Azel Orta with the Fort Lee pick 6. Viana Negron, who made a touchdown or an interception of his own earlier in the game for Kearny, had that ball go off of his hands right into the waiting hands of Azel Orta, who ran it the other way. Officially, that will be a 46-yard pick 6 touchdown for Azel Orta, and the Bridgemen go up 34-15.
Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, black 6. It'll be moved on the kickoff.
We have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty going against Doss Young. That'll be enforced on the kickoff. For now, Tabaku is on for the extra point. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. Tabaku, 3 for 4 on point after attempts. And the Bridgemen have themselves a 20-point lead.
15, Fort Lee.
I believe that is the third turnover of the game by Kearny, and Fort Lee has scored on 2 of them. Amadou Traore with the scoop and score to make it 14-0, and Azel Orda with the pick 6. A different fumble set up a 3-yard touchdown run for Jalen Balbuena. Very sloppy play by both sides. For Fort Lee, that's mostly come in the form of penalties, many, many penalties. But 3 turnovers for the Cardinals have really killed them. They were down 20-0, and now they're once again trailing by 20 points. Fort Lee 35, Kearny 15, exactly 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The 15 yards going against Fort Lee, so Tabaku kicking off from his own 25. Rodriguez back to receive. After throwing that pick 6, Rodriguez is wrapped up just at about the 40-yard line. He is tackled. Bruton was the first bridgeman in the area. So once again, Kearny finds themselves in a dangerous situation, and they really need to put points on the board in order to get back in this one. They had some big plays on their last drive, but penalties and a turnover killed them. That's kind of been the story of the night for John Policano's squad. Rodriguez to Parker, and David Parker is tackled by Leposki. That'll be a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 coming up for the Cardinals at their own 45-yard line. Rodriguez rolling to his left. A flag is on the play. Rodriguez is keeping it. He has run for a first down. Now another flag comes flying. We are setting world records for penalties in this game. There's going to be a couple penalties here. We'll see if they offset or if they're both against the same team. Clock has stopped with 8:07 remaining in the third quarter. And the referees are going to have some delegating to do here. So there were 2 penalties on the play. They were against the same team. Kearny, a holding penalty and a targeting of the head penalty. The targeting penalty was declined. Frank Vizerto is walking off the field under his own power for the Bridgemen, and Kearny is getting backed up because of the holding penalty. So they're back to their own 35, and it is now 2nd and 14 for the Cardinals. Rodriguez with von der Linden chasing him, lofts it out of bounds. Villatoro was in the area, but that was basically just a throwaway for Rodriguez. 3rd and long coming up, and if Fort Lee can get a big stop here, they should be able to get good field position, and with another score, the Bridgemen would be able to really take control of this game. I would imagine head coach Mike Gerst would send the house here for the Bridgemen, and it looks like he will, and it looks like one of them was over anxious. Cyrus Wilkins will get hit with an offsides penalty, and it'll be 3rd and 9. Much more manageable for the Cardinals. Fort Lee still rushing 5. Decent protection. Suh chasing Rodriguez, gets the pass off, it's caught. It is a 1st down. Ball held onto after Leposki went for the tackle. Viana Negron making the catch there for Kearny. And then, as I said, getting hit by Leposki, almost losing the ball but holding on to it. And so on 2nd and 9, it looks like Kearny picked up 13. Now in Fort Lee territory, and another offsides penalty going against the Bridgemen defensive line. No Fort Lee player called out by name. Regardless, it's a 5-yard penalty, so 1st and 5 for Kearny, now at the Fort Lee 42. They continue to be gifted yards by Bridgemen penalties, but they've also committed 3 turnovers. Rodriguez under all kinds of pressure, and Rodriguez will get sacked. That's Suh and number 10 for Fort Lee.
Number 58 on the stop, Devin Vega. Along with number 10, Jacob Greenberg.
A timeout has been called by Fort Lee. That is their first of the second half. Loss of 1 on that play for Rodriguez, so a 1-yard sack. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for Kearny with 6:46 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Only score in the 3rd quarter so far, the Azel Orta pick 6. Two timeouts remaining for the Bridgemen. The Cardinals still have all 3. But they really need a touchdown here to make this one interesting again. Fort Lee looking for the win on senior night. Rodriguez handles the snap, steps up in the pocket. He's going to take it himself. He is hit by Leposki, but able to kind of fall forward, and that'll bring up 3rd and short.
Close to the 4th down marker, but there is a flag
There is a flag on the play.
Holding. White, 54.
It's an offensive holding penalty, so Kearny will once again get backed up. That's called against Eli Ardolino, one of the team captains. So they will repeat second down, and Kearny, who has to get to the Fort Lee 37, will be at their own 47.
Second down and 17 at the Kearny 47.
So this is 2nd and 17 coming up for the Cardinals. Rodriguez hit by Suh as he throws, and he overthrows Ruiz.
Rodriguez
Balbuena on the coverage.
incomplete, intended for number 4, Chris Ruiz. Third down and 17. For Jaden Balbuena on the coverage.
6:06 to go in the third quarter. Kearny, because of their own mistakes, backed up into their own territory again. If they don't at least cut into those 17 yards a little bit, Kearny could be in a world of trouble. Might be 4 down possession at this point. On third down, pocket immediately collapses. Rodriguez, with Vickers in his face, his pass is out of bounds. Suh once again nearly got to the QB. Vickers, taller than Rodriguez, was in the Kearny QB's face, and he threw it out of bounds. No real chance for his receiver there.
By number 8, senior Guy Vickers.
Menendez has come onto the field, so it looks like Policano will play this conservatively and punt.
With number 2, Jonah Menendez.
So the opening drive for Kearny here in the third quarter will come up empty. Actually, really their second possession, because the first one resulted in a pick 6. So the first offensive possession of the second half for Fort Lee will begin more than halfway through the third quarter. Luke Senator started this one at quarterback for Fort Lee. We have not seen him since the first quarter. His younger brother, CJ Senator, has filled in quite nicely. 2 touchdown passes for Senator. He has also thrown an interception. And Fort Lee has a 35-13 lead. You definitely want to eat up the clock here, especially starting this possession off deep in your own territory. And with that in mind, Mike Gerst starts things off with a run play. Ide Ahmedi, number 24, gets the carry on first down. 7-yard run there for Ahmedi. So it'll be 2nd and 3 for the Bridgemen, who are still inside their own 20. Another handoff to Ahmedi. And I think he lost it. Fumbled by Ahmedi. Scooped up by Kearny. I believe that was number 77, Brian Villatoro, with the fumble recovery. That is a huge play for Kearny. And with 4:55 remaining in the third quarter, we have an official injury timeout. That's a member of Fort Lee who went down on the play. So Ameti with the fumble. Brian Villatoro picks it up, and this is a golden opportunity for Kearny to get back in this one after this injury timeout. Want to take this opportunity to thank our proud Fort Lee Athletics sponsors, the William T. Birch Children's Fund, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Soccer Club, It's Greek to Me of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee Education Association, the VFW of Fort Lee, Connect One Bank of Fort Lee, the Bergen Black Sox, Fort Lee Pizza, and the Collective Hair Salon of Fort Lee. Thank you to our proud sponsors. Tommy Aquilina thanking you for tuning in to this Friday Night Lights matchup. Fort Lee leading Kearny 35-15, but as both teams take the field here, Kearny with a golden possession, or a golden opportunity here as they get possession after Brian Villatoro's fumble recovery. 1st and 10 at the Fort Lee 18. Rodriguez back to pass. 2 players in his face. He steps out of it. Pass into the end zone for the touchdown. David Parker, 18-yard touchdown grab.
End zone complete. Touchdown Kearny. 32. David Parker on the catch. 18-yard touchdown. Making the score, Fort Lee 35 and Kearny 21.
It's a 14-point game now. Kearny will just go for 1 for now. It will be Marcelo Lima. High snap. And the kick is good. Nice hold there by Ruiz. Lima now 3 for 3 on extra point attempts. And with 4:46 remaining in the third quarter, it is 35-22 in favor of the Bridgemen. So Kearny refusing to go away. They've had a difficult time moving the ball, but there they get a fumble recovery inside the red zone, and they score immediately. Plenty of time left in this one for the Cardinals. Lima to kick off. Not a great kick, and it will roll out of bounds. Pretty favorable bounce there for the Bridgemen. I lied, by the way. Lima is 2 for 2 in extra point attempts. They also went for 2 and successfully converted. That's why it is 35-22 instead of 35-21 in favor of the Bridgemen. We'll see if that 2-point conversion factors into this one late. Kearny would have to close the gap a little bit more in order for that to happen. Fort Lee, meanwhile, will start things off here at their own 35. You still want to burn time off the clock, but Fort Lee, up by less than 2 full scores, definitely not in a position to just play the clock game quite yet. Especially with Kearny having all 3 timeouts. They're also going to re-spot the ball. It's a penalty if the ball goes out of bounds off the kickoff, so Fort Lee will actually be at their own 38. Direct snap to Balbuena. running to the right side. Balbuena has a first down, and he is tackled by the other team's number 4, Ruiz. So Balbuena runs for more than 10 yards there, picks up a first down, 1st and 10 Bridgman at the Kearny 48. CJ Senator will retake the field. They hand it off to De Hoyos here. And De Hoyos is wrapped up by a couple Cardinals. I believe one of them was Ryan Rodriguez, number 57. 3-yard gain for De Hoyos. 2nd and 7 for Fort Lee at the Kearny 45. Bruton will come back onto the field for the Bridgman. He's made more of an impact defensively tonight. Here he follows Balbuena, who handles the direct snap, but Balbuena is clipped behind the line of scrimmage. Nice play there by Diego Villatoro. That's a tackle for a loss of 2 yards on that run by Balbuena. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. Too many players on the field for Fort Lee. Bruton and Peregrino Brima have to hustle off. A Kearny player did make a move. That's an encroachment penalty going against number 73, Giovanni Sile. So it'll be a much more manageable 3rd and 4 here for the Bridgman. That'll definitely change Mike Gerst's play call. Senator has De Hoyos with him. Uses him as a blocker, has a first down, and has more than that. CJ Senator with the touchdown run. The younger Senator brothers' 3rd touchdown of the day. This one a run, and Fort Lee takes a commanding 41-22 lead. It looks like the Bridgmen are going to go for 2 here. They want a full 21-point lead. Number 21, Senator, taking it himself. There's a flag on the play. Senator did find his way to the end zone. Let's see what the deal is with this flag. Offensive holding call. So the 2-point conversion will not be successful. It'll be a 19-point advantage for the Bridgman. They will be allowed to go for it again. They're just going to get backed up a little bit, and it looks like they are going to go for 2 again. Senator back to pass here. Looking for Vickers. Double coverage. Vickers unable to make the grab. So I did not lie. It will be 41-22 in favor of the Bridgmen with 2:33 remaining in the 3rd quarter. these teams really have largely gone back and forth since Fort Lee jumped out to a 20-0 advantage. That cushion, which bled into the second quarter, definitely helping out the Bridgemen. Alteo Tabaku to kick off here, with Fort Lee leading by 19. Kickoff is handled by Betancourt, who is tackled. Really good play by Ron Leposki. Flex those muscles. A man's tackle for the senior, number 1, on senior night. 2:26 to go in the third quarter. Kearny ball at their own 23. No, I think they're going to spot Betancourt and the Cardinals at the 24. Several seniors have had their fingerprints all over this one tonight for the Bridgemen. We do have another penalty. It goes against the Bridgemen. I believe that was a face mask penalty called against Bruton. So Kearny will not be inside their own 30. They will start this possession at their own 39. Not bad. Rodriguez back to pass. Steps up. Doesn't want to run. He is going to run now. Avoids a tackle and eventually gets tripped up by Leposki. Decent gain on that play, though, for the Kearny quarterback. Rodriguez got to the 47. So that was an 8-yard run. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2 for the Cardinals. Rodriguez rolling to his right. Now he goes the other way. Throws across his body, nearly intercepted by Leposki. Stepped in front of his number 1 counterpart, Viana Negron. Viana Negron has an interception himself tonight. Leposki nearly had one. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2. I know they're in their own territory, but down by 3 scores, 1:31 remaining in the third quarter. This might be 4-down territory for John Policano and his squad. Rodriguez is certainly not afraid to air the ball out. They hand it off here, and it is a 1st down run. Tackle made by Kearny and Orta. But Viana Negron has a 1st down run. Also got the ball into Fort Lee territory, specifically at the Fort Lee 47. Just over a minute to go here in the third quarter. A score before the fourth quarter begins would be huge for Kearny. Fake pitch back. Rodriguez takes it himself, breaks tackles, fumbles, but recovers it himself. I think that might have been Peregrino Brima who knocked the ball loose. But in any event, Rodriguez recovered his own fumble. It'll now be 2nd and 7 from the Fort Lee 45. Time for one more play here in the third quarter for the Kearny Cardinals. Winless on the season, trailing the Bridgemen by 19. Rodriguez back to pass. Von der Linden chasing after him, throws across his body, broken up. Two Bridgmen in the area. Bruton had a shot at a pick there. And that is how the third quarter will end. On senior night, the Fort Lee Bridgemen lead Kearny 41-22. The fourth quarter is set to begin shortly.
Once again, fans, last call for the concession stand. Last call for the concession stand.
The referees are spotting the ball. We are about ready to begin the fourth quarter here at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Tommy Aquilino with you here on senior night for the Fort Lee Bridgemen. 11 12th graders honored before the game. Many of them have contributed significantly to the 19-point advantage the Bridgemen bring into the fourth quarter. They lead Kearny 41-22. The Cardinals do have the ball. They are in Fort Lee territory, but they are going to have to score 3 times here in the fourth quarter without allowing a score themselves. We will see if the Cardinals are up to the task. Luis Rodriguez back to pass. He has plenty of room to run, and he will run for the first down. Vizerto will get credit for the tackle, but that is a first down run for the Kearny quarterback. So a good start to the fourth quarter for Kearny. They get a first down. They also stop the clock. Just 10 seconds gone by here in the fourth quarter. Kearny now set up at the Fort Lee 35. Wilkins broke the line and fell right in front of Rodriguez, but then he was able to basically just step up and run for the first down himself. Waiting for his team to be set. Rodriguez looking for someone to pass to, trying to avoid a sack. He does. He gets a throw off, but we should have a penalty here because a Fort Lee player lost his helmet. That was Bruton, and Bruton signifying that a penalty will go against Kearny. So Bruton lost his helmet because of a hands to the face penalty. That goes against Kearny number 72, Logan Lamella, and that will back the Cardinals up 15 yards to midfield. First and 15 coming up here for the Cardinals. Rodriguez back to pass. He steps up, and he's going to take it himself. Gets laid out of bounds by Kearny. Good, hard, legal tackle by Kearny. I did tell another falsehood. It was not first and 15. It was first and 25. That was a 15-yard penalty against Lamella. So a 10-yard pickup there by Rodriguez on the run. Now it is second down and 15. Kearny has to get to the Fort Lee 25 for a first down. Another penalty. This should be an offsides penalty against von der Linden. That'll make it a little easier for Kearny. So just like that, we have a very reasonable second down and 10 play coming up for Kearny at the Fort Lee 35. The clock is running. Line has been broken. Rodriguez wrapped up and sacked. Bruton with Vonderlinden there as well. Christian Bruton is fired up. That sack is going to cost Kearny more than 15 yards and knock them back into their own territory. What a play by Bruton and Vonderlinden. It's a 16-yard loss on that sack.
It's third down and 26.
Third down and 26 coming up for the Cardinals. Now under 10 minutes to go in this one. Rodriguez's pass is caught by Parker. Parker avoids a tackle and is eventually taken down by Leposki. He nearly got the first down there. You got to go for it here on fourth down if you're Kearny.
21, number 1, Ron Leposki on the stop. Fourth down and 5.
I think that's a bad spot, but they're going to down Parker at the 30-yard line. So that'll bring up 4th and 5, and Kearny is going to go for it. A 21-yard catch by Parker on 3rd and 26. 4th and 5, and Fort Lee just gave Kearny the first down. Encroachment penalty against Ari and Kanetani. And it was 3rd and 26, but Kearny will move those chains. Rodriguez back to pass on 1st and 10, and his pass is intercepted by Fort Lee. I think that's Cushney who came away with it. There were 2 Bridgemen there. There were 0 Cardinals. And Rodriguez has just thrown his 2nd interception of the night. Jaden Cushney with the INT, and Fort Lee will take over. That is a backbreaker for the Cardinals. Fort Lee is very deep in their own territory. Rodriguez was basically going for it. Fort Lee will be at their own 1-yard line.
Fort Lee takes over at their 1-yard line.
So you obviously want to be careful here to avoid the safety. And if you're Kearny, you probably want to be pretty aggressive here. Senator took it himself. Not a long carry, but enough to get Fort Lee out of their own end zone, basically. It was a gain of 4, so it'll be 2nd down and 6 for Fort Lee at their own 5. CJ Senator to the sideline, gets the play. Now comes back onto the field. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. Obviously, the Bridgemen are in no rush here. A whistle here as Fort Lee takes a timeout. Really in no hurry. 2nd timeout of the 2nd half for Mike Gerst. It stops the clock with 7:02 remaining in the 4th quarter. This game more than 2.5 hours old. The Bridgemen leading it 41-22. This is the second time this season that Fort Lee has put up at least 40 points. Actually, I lied. It's the third time this season, second in a row. They opened the year with a 42-0 win at Memorial. And last week on September 26th, Fort Lee beat Bergen Tech 47-26. Bridgemen looking for a fourth consecutive victory, and then they'll have a short week. Their next game, which I will be on the call for and will be here at the Sugarman Sport Complex, will be next Thursday, October 10th, against Tenafly, another divisional matchup for the Bridgemen. Timeout over. Again, it's 2nd and 6. Senator taking it again. Still not quite enough for the first down as Brian Villatoro, number 77, makes the tackle. It's a gain of 2 for Senator, bringing up 3rd down and 4. The Bridgemen still deep in their own territory, but under 7 minutes to play. Senator back to pass here, looking for Balbuena again. He's got Balbuena, backing up, now running the right way. Jalen Balbuena with his 3rd touchdown of the night. 93 yards. Putting an exclamation point on the senior day win.
Touchdown, Bridgemen. Fort Lee leads 47-22.
Third touchdown of the night for the senior Jalen Balbuena. 1 rushing, 2 receiving. It is the 4th touchdown of the night for CJ Senator. 3 of the passing variety, also a run. And another 100-yard receiving night for Balbuena as well. Fort Lee gonna go for 2 here. They've tied their season high with 47 points. Senator looking for Vickers, who has it. 2-point conversion successful.
Senator completes number 8, Guy Vickers, for 2. 49-22, Fort Lee.
49-22, Fort Lee. 6:06 to go in the 4th quarter. Fort Lee with a new season high in points here on senior night. Well on their way to a 4th consecutive victory. The Bridgemen will improve to 2-1 at home this season and 1-0 here in the month of October. Still got the final half of the 4th quarter to play. The loss, by the way, will drop Kearny to 0-5 on the season. They are 0-3 on the road. Or they will be, unless they make a miraculous comeback here. Unsportsmanlike penalty, or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, was called against Vickers after the 2-point conversion. So Fort Lee kicking off from deep in their own territory here. It's actually a pretty good kickoff. Betancourt on the return, and Miguel Betancourt with a pretty decent return there. Kearny will once again start off a possession with good field position. They will be at their own 48 with just under 6 minutes remaining in this one. Good kickoff by Tabaku. It does not look like Luis Rodriguez has taken the field for this possession. Oh, no, he has. Takes the snap from under center. Gets away from Wilkins, looking to pass. His pass is completed. Menendez, nice catch, staying in bounds after getting hit by a Bridgman and getting a few extra yards there. That's a 24-yard grab by Menendez, who has had a good night tonight. 2 touchdown receptions for him, and another long grab there. There are some talented players on this Kearny squad, but they have yet to put it all together in a game and pick up a victory. At the Fort Lee 28 here. Rodriguez surveying his options. Wilkins in the area again. Rodriguez goes deep. Pass is broken up. Ruiz was the intended target, but both Leposki and Traore were in the area for Fort Lee.
Coverage downfield by number 3, Amadou Traore for Fort Lee.
The incomplete pass does stop the clock with 5:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rodriguez on the move yet again. Plants and fires. Pass is caught by Menendez. Another first down for Kearny. And Menendez is inside the Fort Lee 10-yard line.
First and goal, Kearny. Number 20, Christian Booth on the stop.
First and goal from the 7. First and goal from the 7.
A brief huddle for Kearny. And on this first and goal play, Rodriguez stepping up, firing to Menendez, who makes a nice grab and toe taps for the touchdown. Third time tonight that Rodriguez and Menendez have hooked up on a touchdown. Looks like they're not going to do anything crazy here and just go for the 1 extra point. Lima once again on for Kearny for the point after. He botched the kick, but we have a flag that will go against Fort Lee. And so Lima and the Cardinals will get another chance. With that penalty getting them closer, Kearny has changed their minds. They will go for 2 here. Rodriguez surveying the area, rolling to his right, looking for Negron, and he has him. 2-point conversion successful.
Kearny completes the 2-point conversion.
So Rodriguez with a touchdown pass to Menendez, and then he finds Negron for the 2-point conversion, making it Fort Lee 49, Kearny 30, with 4:31 remaining in the fourth quarter. This is the third consecutive game that Kearny has hit the 30 mark in terms of points. But their defense continues to get kind of shredded this season, including tonight. Kearny has given up 171 points in not 5 full games this season. And now Lima to kick off. Traore back to receive for the Bridgemen. On senior night, he has a scoop and score. Lima with the onside kick. De Hoyos was right there. He handled it, and Fort Lee will take over right around midfield.
First down, Bridgman.
You have to imagine that Fort Lee would mostly just run the ball here, whether CJ Senator is handing it off or taking it himself. He does have a rushing touchdown tonight. Number 5, Matt Kim runs onto the field. He'll be a part of this play for Fort Lee. Senator pitches it back to Traore. It was a pretty terrible pitch, but Traore fell on it.
Amadou Traore is able to recover.
So Fort Lee will not lose possession. They will lose 5 yards, though. So second down and 15 coming up. They did accomplish their intended goal there, though, of running time off the clock. About 4 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Senator taking it himself, having to avoid a couple Cardinals, runs around them, and basically just gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Getting back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a short game, 3rd and long.
That was number 75, Jan Gabriel, along with Brian Villatoro giving chase for the Cardinals. 3rd and 15 coming up, and the clock has stopped because Senator ran out of bounds. 3:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. Big third down play coming up for the Bridgemen. Colin Zuh acting as the center here. Senator back to pass on 3rd and 15. He's going to air it out. He was looking for Vickers, but the pass was broken up by Rodriguez.
Broken up by number 13, Luis Rodriguez. Intended target was number 8, Guy Vickers. 4th down.
4th and 15 coming up. Again, the clock stops. So 3:27 remaining in this one. Alteo Tabaku will punt for Fort Lee. After breaking up that last pass attempt, Rodriguez is back to receive for the Cardinals. He really does it all for that team. Tabaku doesn't handle the snap cleanly, picks it up, gets the kickoff, and a fair catch made by Rodriguez at his own 32-yard line.
Signaled by Kearny's 13, Luis Rodriguez. A 22-yard punt.
Make it the 33. So with 3:19 remaining in this one, Kearny will take over yet again at their own, yes, their own 33-yard line. Trailing by 19. Rodriguez fakes the handoff, rolling to his right, 2 players in his face, and he throws it away.
Luis Rodriguez pass is incomplete.
One of the bridgemen in the area on that play was number 56, linebacker Dylan Herrera. Clock stops yet again because of the incomplete pass, but Kearny obviously not gaining any yards on that play. Rodriguez back to pass yet again. A flag has been thrown. That pass was incomplete, intended for Viana Negron, not one of Rodriguez's better passes there. Now let's see what this flag is all about.
With a flag down. Second down. White 71. Hold.
Offensive penalty, a hold against number 71, Ethan Sanchez, one of the captains of the team. He backs his squad up. And so it'll be a replay of second down, but they will be at their own 21-yard line, it looks like. Maybe their own 22. And another whistle. That one was against Fort Lee, so Kearny will immediately get some of those yards back. And we'll do second down for the third time. Rodriguez surveying his options, throwing it and completing it to Diego Villatoro. And Villatoro very close to the first down.
20-yard gain.
Pickup of 20.
Fourth and 2. Fourth and 1.5. Fourth and 2.
Sets up fourth down and 2.
Short 2.
Rodriguez back to pass. Needs a short gain here, and he's got it. Negron breaks a tackle. Negron into Fort Lee territory. Flag is thrown as Negron is dragged down inside the Fort Lee 40. Kearny down by 19, but not going quietly here in the fourth quarter.
We got a dead ball foul. Targeting. For White.
It is a first down for Kearny. But it looks like the Cardinals committed a dead ball foul, I guess, after the play. So they'll give Kearny the first down, but they are going to penalize them on a dead ball foul. So the Cardinals will not be in Fort Lee territory. It will be 1st and 10, but at the Kearny 42.
You got the coach on the field. You got the coach on the field.
Hey, guys. What's going on? What are you doing?
They run the play despite the fact that a Fort Lee coach was on the field, and now Mike Gerst is not happy.
Guys, you had a coach and an injured player on the field.
One of his coaches was walking Leposki off the field. Leposki didn't have his helmet on, but evidently none of the players or referees noticed. And they're going to let the play go through. Leposki and his assistant coach have made it off the field. Gerst is arguing with the referees. Right now, the referees are poised to give Kearny a 1st down that they gained on that last play. I didn't see what happened because I was watching Leposki leave the field. They are going to give that play to Kearny, though. Well, okay then. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Fort Lee 45. And no time came off the clock on that play. The clock didn't start because there was an injured player still on the field. So a little bit of a free play there for Kearny. Rodriguez's pass is broken up, and it's incomplete. And so that stops the clock yet again. Still a minute 46 to go in this one. Now 2nd and 10 at the Fort Lee 45. It is 10 o'clock, so we have hit the 3-hour mark of this game. Not the crispest high school football game I've ever watched or been a part of, but it has been entertaining. It's also been long. Rodriguez running it himself here, eventually going out of bounds as Farid Peregrino Brima gave chase. Rodriguez picks up the 1st down. He also goes out of bounds, so that stops the clock yet again. And now Kearny will take a timeout. Very important things to discuss here in the last 90 seconds of a 19-point game. I do want to shout out the Fort Lee seniors one more time. 11 of them honored before the game. Number 3, Amadou Traore, and he's had a really good game defensively. Number 4, Jalen Balbuena, one of the team captains, 3 touchdowns tonight. Number 6, Donovan Doss-Young. Number 8, Guy Vickers. Number 1, Ron Leposki, wearing number 1 for the first time tonight, one of the team captains. The guy I just mentioned, Farid Peregrino Brima, number 72. Number 74, lineman Jason Lee. Number 75, lineman Ari Ann Kanatani. Number 78, lineman and captain Dimitri van der Linden. Number 62, Jonathan Granados. And number 32, Sonabi Yu. Congrats once again to the Fort Lee Bridgman seniors. They lead it here on senior night, 49-30. Pass is completed to Negron. Avoids a tackle. And Negron is inside the 10-yard line. Another flag is thrown. I really do wish I'd been keeping track. I want to know what the exact number is, and I'm so sorry that I can't give it to you guys. But it's been a lot. Many, many, many penalties in this game. It's a face mask penalty against Fort Lee, so that will help Kearny even more. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Still more than a minute left in this one. Rodriguez's pass is completed to Negron, and he goes out of bounds shy of the goal line. De Hoyos will get credit for the tackle there. I think that was a 2-yard catch on 1st and goal from the 4.
Ball is on the 3-yard line.
This time, Negron runs it.
Chase Negron, 23.
And he is short of the goal line.
Number 56.
Dylan Herrera got in there
Stop made by 56, Dylan Herrera.
and prevented Negron from getting into the end zone. Kearny will have another shot at it here on 3rd down. Rodriguez looking for the pass, and his pass is incomplete.
Rodriguez pass incomplete. Intended for 11, Diego Villatoro. 4th down and goal.
It's 4th and goal. Why not at this point? Kearny is obviously going to go for it. If they get it here, they would have a season high in points. Ferris running through traffic, throwing into traffic. Incomplete. A goal line stand for the Bridgemen, and they will take over right in front of their own end zone. So Senator can't really knee it because he would be downing it in the end zone. Fort Lee's going to have to run a play here with 25.5 seconds remaining in this one. Kearny will fall to 0-5. Fort Lee will improve to 5-1. This will be their 4th win in a row, and they will have a short week in order to prepare for Tenafly. We will be back here at the Sugarman Sport Complex in 6 days on Thursday, October 10th for an Ivy Red divisional matchup between Fort Lee and Tenafly. Senator does actually just take the snap and knee it. He must have had more room in between the line of scrimmage and the end zone than I thought. And that's how this one will end. Another play doesn't need to be run. The Fort Lee Bridgemen on senior night honor 11 of their seniors and then score a season-high 49 points in a 49-30 win over Kearny.
The Fort Lee Bridgemen 49, the Kearny Cardinals 30.
The teams will line up and shake hands after a very exciting, high-scoring, and sloppy Friday Night Lights game. The final is Fort Lee 49, Kearny 30. The Bridgemen have won 4 in a row. They improved to 2-1 at home this year, 1-0 in October, and 5-1 on the year. Next week on Thursday, they'll take on Tenafly. We do hope you will join us for that one. From the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex, I am Tommy Aquilina. Want to give a special shout out to Dimitri Nanas and also Michael Raftery, Fort Lee Athletic Director, for making nights like these work. Once again, happy senior night, everybody, and have a great Friday and rest of your weekend. So long, everybody. Go Bridgemen.